Hi guys, my name is Tracy and welcome back to Beyond the Pulpit podcast episode 2. So today's guest is going to be very interesting, but before we get into that, I want to remind you about our social media platforms where you can follow us so that uko unaona vitu kama behind the scenes. Unaweza jua guest ni nani before to upload video. So on Instagram we are Beyond the Pulpit _Kenya, small letters. On TikTok we are BTP Caps Kenya, and then on pengine tuko
YouTube.
on YouTube we are at BTP Kenya. So follow us, subscribe, share, like, comment, watch videos zetu. It's a family friendly podcast, so unaweza share kwa your shosho, your uncle, that your family group, send it to them and tell them to follow us. So karibuni sana to episode 2. My name is Tracy. I think I've introduced myself and I'll pass it on to Larry.
My name is Larry Njuguna. I am your co-host today, and we have a very, very amazing guest. Mwenye si wote tunamjua. Sisi wote kwa hii room.
Sisi wote kwa hii room, yeah.
Yeah. But apparently, mi hata sijui anaitwa tu Debs. Mi hata sijui Debs ni Debbie,
Debra. You know, 2024.
Yeah.
Majina ni different.
Yeah.
Kwanza hujawaonyesha t-shirts. Unajua tuko na merchandise.
Tuko na merchandise.
Kali, tuko na vitu kali. Tuko na uniform.
Hata guest wetu wako na.
Hata yeye, tuko na uniform.
Thank you for the t-shirt.
BTP, Beyond the Pulpit, we are representing.
Yeah, so
As a guest, unaweza pata yako bure. Wengine mnaweza nunua at a small cost. Guaranteed. Hata para, mnazina para? Topa. Para ni nini?
Niyo tu,
okay.
Lakini sasa
tuko na matopa na ziko na logo. Sisi wengine?
Sisi Gen Z ni topa.
Okay. So tuko na matopa. Anything you want, our merchandise is going to be available. Tutaweka namba yetu, itakuwa somewhere hapa chini kwa editor atacheza kiyeye. Namba yetu iko hapo, email yetu iko hapo, unaweza tu DM kwa Instagram ama kwa TikTok, tutakusort. But at a small fee, ndo mtu support, si ndio? Okay, so now I think we can allow our guest to introduce herself.
Yes.
I know her as Debs, so hata mimi niko hapa kumjua zaidi. Ninamjua tu kijuju. So today I want to get to know. Nikitoka hapa I think naweza I know Debs. And ile ya Debs, I know Debs. Like I know where she comes from. Ninajua di ushago kwao. So Debs, karibu sana to Beyond the Pulpit. It's an honor to have you here. And
thank you.
I'm looking forward to getting to know you a bit better. Awesome. Or a lot better.
A lot better.
Okay, karibu sana, so you can introduce yourself.
Yeah, I'm Debra Sasaka. It doesn't see acronym ni Debra Sasaka.
It's not Deborah.
No, it's not Deborah.
Okay.
Debra
Sasaka. Spelling haina O.
Haina O. Sika ile ya Bible.
Pronunciation is different.
Sika ile ya Bible. Ile ya Deborah.
Is it Debra with a H?
Debra?
No.
It's just Debra.
Debra. Debra Sasaka.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Hiyo ndo nimeandikiwa kwa birth certificate.
Interesting.
Yes.
Karibu sana. So what do you do, Debra?
I am a data and business systems analyst. So basically that means I analyze data and I also manage a system.
Okay.
Mimi ningesema data.
It's data.
It's data.
Utafunza hizi vitu hadi
mimi ningesema
Haina
data.
shida yoyote. Data as long as
unaonyesha na umetoka Kahawa West. As you can see, hiyo course venye si course, hiyo career, it can tell you that she's a smart person, and trust me, she's very 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 smart. Yeye ndo anakuanga logistics kidogo, uweze mhata hapo. So now,
awesome.
I have known Debra since I was in high school through the camps as a set free. That is 2017. That was my first set free camp.
Yes.
So I've known Debra since I was in high school. Hata wewe?
Yeah.
Umemjua kutoka
zamani sana. Ukinifunza CBN.
CBN, sindo? Okay, so both of us have known her from CBN. Oh, yeah. So CBN, for those who are not from Kawes Baptist Church, CBN is a program for high schoolers. It's called Christ by Nature, where they take teenagers through, and they walk with teenagers through the journey of salvation. Sindio? Nimekosea? Hapana. So Debra, I've known Debra from there, and I think I've only known her in the context of church. But today I want to know you from when you grew up. Like, let's start from the beginning, in the beginning. Let's start it from there. Like, where were you born? How many are you? The structure of your family, your journey in primary school, high school, and then university, and then now you're working. So, tunaweza anzia in the beginning.
That's a long journey.
That's a long journey.
Yeah.
We have time.
I was born and bred in Nairobi. So mimi ni msichana wa Nairobi.
Mtoto born Tao.
Yes, born Tao, raised in Tao. Nilizaliwa Ongwaru. No, nilizaliwa wazazi wangu wakiwa South Sea and then tukamove Ongwaru. So yes, niko familia na Kaongware, I guess as much as I can be. And then yeah, we moved to West after that. So I think
Really?
yes.
After Ongwaru, like how old were you when you're moving to Kawest?
I can give it relative to my sister's age. So when my sister, mnajua sister yangu mtamwona hopefully.
Yeah.
Lazima.
She looks a feature.
Atakuja.
Yes, when she was turning like 10.
Okay.
Yeye ndio mtoto wa kuomoka. Sisi tulikuwa watoto wa struggle. Ndio sasa tukakam West. So we've lived in West all our lives until my parents retired. So yes, alafu tukasema tumetoka Kawa West.
Kwambia wanaishi West wapi?
Wapi?
Hapo Green Cottage ukweli.
Ilikuwa Green Cottage na huko chini.
I can't believe you're from Kawa West.
What?
I can't believe like you've grown up in Kawa West.
I have.
Wow.
Jua nasema data. Sasa mimi wa West, unajua mimi nasema
We
data.
bado. Ukitoka ndo maybe tutakuwa tunapatia na story ya Larry grew up in Kawa West. Okay, so how was primary life? Like, did you ulisomea Ongwaru, of course?
No, nilisomea. Okay, funny story. Nilisomea shule flani. I won't name schools. Basically, scandalous.
Okay.
So the first school I was sent to, my parents didn't know I was being taught in Kikuyu. I don't know Kikuyu.
In Nairobi?
Yes. So yeah. So that was my first when I just joined school. So kuingia tunafundishwa Kikuyu, Miss Jambia mzae. My mom is like, I'm raising a stupid child. She used to be so much. Because I used to be 18 out of 18. She's like, how? She doesn't understand.
Number 18 out of 18?
Yes, I'll never forget. It was a pink certificate. Nilikuwa naletea mama yangu. Anaona guy nasomesha mtoto.
And how is it that she didn't know?
I don't know because it was advertised, I guess, as a normal. Ningeambia
It's a private
jina.
school.
Yes, ningeambia jina mngejua.
Jina
Ingekuwa
of
hint.
perfect.
Ingekuwa hint. Hiyo jina ingekuwa hint
avoid.
kwa wazazi.
Really?
But yeah, anyway, so that's when I started school. Anyway, finally, my dad noticed. Then somehow akadiscover akaona wanafundishwa na Kikuyu, so wacha tumchange because mimi nilikuwa najua Kiswahili na Kizungu, sijui Kikuyu. And then from there we went to a school, Daniel Steven, when unajua West sana.
Yeah.
I used to be in Daniel Steven.
Oh, it was a school.
Yes.
Nataka kuuliza hivyo pia.
It was a school.
Sisi watoto wa
Sisi
2000.
tulikuwa tumeanza. Sisi ndo tulianzisha hiyo shule.
Wow.
Tunajua ni business center
It's a
sahi.
business center.
Now it's
yeah.
a business center. Yes, Mrs. Mugo was the head mistress and owner. And Mr. Mugo, I'll never forget them. Then after that, class 4, sasa nikaenda Musagitao Primary School. So that's where I finished. Because yetu ilikuwa mpaka class 8. CJSS, sijui nini. No, it was just primary, upper primary, lower primary.
I would have assumed ni O levels and...
Oh my Lord. I am not that old. Please.
Not to throw jabs. Not,
CSC.
you know,
Sure.
I did my O levels and then A levels.
Ay, hapana.
Okay.
Hiyo ni akina Dr. Mwangi. Sorry, Dr. Mwangi. So yes, nikamaliza. Then I went to high school. Yes.
So you also, at a high school, utaki to mention names. I think with the high school, it's okay.
High school is okay.
It's okay.
So I went to Alliance Girls Primary School, high school guy, naita primary.
Let me tell
Angetuambia I'm from
you,
Alliance.
this is a humble person because all guys from Alliance start with that. You
Angeanza na
know,
Alliance.
my name is Debs and I went to Alliance.
Yeah.
I was in Alliance, no.
Alliance girl.
Imagine producer angeenda Alliance.
We
Ay.
hatungelala
T-shirt.
hata hizi t-shirts
Zia niko
hata
Alliance.
mlango ya nini ya gari
Kitu.
coffee.
Alliance alumni.
My pastor was in Alliance. Hata siku evangelize hiyo ndio nini.
You know I went to Alliance. You know when I was in Alliance. You know Alliance.
Hiyo ndio kwa tu examples zote.
Kila kitu. I think Alliance mnafaa kuchange alumni wa Alliance because hamna
hiyo ni yake Busherians msimsikize, that's just her. Shade is on that side, not here.
Okay, sorry.
A lot of love, Busherians.
So Alliance.
Yes, so
4 years.
Yes, 4 years Alliance. Then my parents couldn't afford to take me to Campo, so I missed that period because ulikuwa unaitwa unaenda, so I couldn't get in. I think I stayed home for like 3.5 years. Those were really, really tough years. But then by God's grace, aka provide. Sasa nikaenda Campo after that. So nilienda USIU. So 4 years as well.
Ingekuwa disaster kama angesomea Alliance alafu ende UN. The University of Nairobi, you know how they also don't shut up.
Yeah.
So it's interesting that you've said ulikuwa home for 3 years. Now let's get to know a period of 3 years. What are you doing? Ulikuwa unafanya short course, because I know so many of us who finished high school,
computer driving,
let me
ICDL,
uko na certificates zenye maybe hazitaikusaidia. Unajua sijaijua essence ya kufanya computer packages. Driving maybe, but computer packages surely. So did you get to do short courses? Were you in business? Did you get a job? What were you doing during your 3 years?
I was the one who was cleaning the house, cooking.
house manager,
certified stay-at-home daughter.
Yes.
Unpaid.
Yes. My parents were too broke to take me to even computer courses.
Really?
So I was home. Yes, I was home for 3.5 years. And I think in that period, my bro, I think, was just born. Sitasema ijake.
Yeah.
But yes, Clive. Yes, I was also... I'm his second mother. Yes.
And it shows. It actually shows, because you guys are really close. Your relationship is pretty
I thought ungekuja na yeye.
Say ako away. He's
Yes,
taking
he
care
has
of
the
his
bag.
parents. Good job, Clive. Good job.
Okay, interesting. So you were fully at home.
Yes, I was fully at home. And I think in that period is when I joined Kawes Baptist. Because that's another story. I was going to another church, will not name it, and I hated it because I felt haikuwa ina keep up with the times. Ilikuwa na wazai wengi sana na walikuwa youth. So nilikuwa najishuku nasema, mi ni youth, na pia ni youth. Yes. So I think I stayed home as well for like 6 months. Then by God's grace, akaniambia it's time wende church. Nikamwambia nenda church gani? And nilikuwa naenda shule, when the same school with Arita. Hi Monica, najua utawatch. Then Monica alikuwa ameniambia hiyo church nasikianga rumors sijui kwaje sitasema, sitachomea Arita.
No, she was talking about KWBC.
Yes. So when God told me go to Kawes, I was like, that's a den of sinners.
Tell me about it.
Yeah, then God was like, I did not mince my words. I said go. So nikaenda the first time. I remember niliona kina Kijuice. And that was the same age group I had left there. I was like, 10 hours there. Then nikajambia acha niende the second time. The second time sasa ndio nikamit Miano na Kenos. And then Miano just took me under his wing. So yeah, he was like, "Mbona ukam nini?" So then I became part of Kawes Baptist, and it has been a great journey so far.
So it's been that long.
Yes, very long.
Sina swali.
Okay. So now I like the fact that you've now introduced us to your journey in salvation. So unaweza tuambia uliokoka wapi, lini?
Okay.
How did you encounter God? At what point did you say that enyewe sasa nimeanza kuelewa salvation ni nini, and this is the path that I've chosen for myself? Or path that I've chosen, salvation?
Yeah, I mean, Ephesians says that he chose us before the very foundations of the world. And now I usually see that because I never sought God. Mi sikuwa ati naenda kutafuta God. But my mom tells me when I was young, when I was in Daniel Stephen, kulikuwa na kanisa hapo pia. So my mom never used to go to church, and my sisters, I have 2 sisters and my brother. So my brother is much younger. Yeah, Daniel Stephen akuwa ametokea huku nyuma. So yeah, then my mom was like, nilikuwa namwambia twende church. So we joined a church that had just started.
Random.
Yeah, and that was before I joined Musagitao. So I remember when I was in Musagitao, class 4, is when this woman was preaching, this young lady, because alikuwa shule, and she was preaching on the wine bottles, the wine skins, your story, wine skins, where Christ is telling the Pharisees and the scribes, this new wine cannot be in old wine skins.
Yeah.
And old wine skins cannot contain, new wine skins cannot contain new wine. So yes, otherwise ita pasuka. So I remember that was the story, and I was just like, I want to know this God, this man that they are talking about, who is who brings us and calls us to something new, this new wineskin. So nili okoka nikiwa 9 years old, and God has been faithful. Truly, He has.
9.
I was 9.
And you had an understanding of God.
Yes.
I can't remember what I was doing at 9.
Yes.
Very najua tu ninapelekwa Sunday school, which is good, which is great.
Bano.
That is good foundation.
Kucheza bano, amanya mkucheza bano.
That is
Bano at 9. Si tulicheza bano ngwaro kwa sijui 2 or 3. Unajua. Yes.
Okay, so at 9 years old, I ilikuwa tu kalongo,
Ile game ya mawe, ile mnarushanga mawe, mnasukuma.
Sijui inaitwaje, nimesahau. Mawe. Hiyo nimeambiwa inaitwa mawe. But nilicheza na kati na blada. Like that's all I was doing at 9. Ulikuwa boarding school?
I was in boarding school, yes.
Musagitao, I know Musagitao.
Yes.
So ulipelekwa what age?
I was 9, but I was extremely independent because I really wanted to go to boarding school. My parents didn't want me to go. I'm the firstborn. So mi nilikuwa nahepa kwa cousins zangu naambia mimi nipeleke boarding. So finally my parents took me. And then it worked out for me, didn't work out for the rest. They hated it. I loved it.
Oops.
Yeah. So especially my second born sister, sorry Donna. Yeah, she did not like boarding school. My parents ilikuwa ila imework out na unajua first born anakuanga wa kutestiwa. So ukisha test imework.
The rest have to
apply.
Follow suit.
Yes. Hakuna ati tuna change model. No.
Yikes.
So yeah, I went to boarding when I was 9 years old. Yes.
So 9 to hadi ukamaliza class 8 and then boarding tena high school.
At 9 tulikuwa tutengeneza fishing rods na bamboo sticks. Unaona hapo hiyo kawash na
What do you mean?
Bro, sisi tulikuwa fishermen.
Fishers of the pond.
At 9 hata nimekumbuka tusikuwa nishikia Mombi, hiyo river inakwanga hapo kwa hiyo junction. Na bamboo sticks na ile thread ya kushona viatu. Hiyo. Unajua river hapo junction.
Thread.
Kuna shop ilikuwa hiyo ya kushona viatu kwa duka za kushona viatu.
Mnaiba ama mnanunua?
Tunanunua.
Okay.
So tumechanga hiyo time kulikuwa na sumni 50 cents.
Yes.
No, don't look at you trying to seem so old. Anataka kuonesha nafa venye ni.
Miaka imeenda.
Yes, mzee. So okay, so high school you got saved at 9 years old. That is so interesting because I don't think most people understand. Unajijua at 9.
Unajijua mpaka unaokoka.
Hadi unaokoka,
unajua mpaka meaning like what's this I'm getting myself
like
into.
there's a God. Unajua tunaambia God, yes, kuna Mungu na unajua ukikula pesa ya sadaka kuna punishment. Like that's all I knew about God at that age. But getting saved at 9 is wonderful. It's wonderful.
Sikuwa ina tu church juu. Well, mzazi anaenda na mzazi anasema kwa wendi church anafunga nyumba yake ujipange kwenye utaenda
unalala kwa nyumba ndani kama ujaenda kanisa. That is so interesting. And your parents ndo waliku did you have like a Christian setting at home? Your parents, were they saved?
No, I was the first in my family to get saved. Then my mom got saved.
Nice.
Although I feel like we used to go to my mom was a traveler of churches until
Amazing Hope.
Yes. Because she was just finding a church where she could be comfortable, where, teaching of the word, because, there's so many prosperity gospel churches. So until, she found her footing. So my mom was second, and then my sister Doreen got saved third. And so now we are half and half saved in the house. But like the beauty, I thank God, first of all, it doesn't matter whatever age, God is the one who calls us and keeps us. And then when I got saved, I want to give a shout out to Mr. Makime. He was a pastor. So he took a bunch of us in and taught us what salvation meant. So alikuwa anatuambia asubuhi ilikuwa tunaamka tunaenda 5 am tunaomba.
Wa Musa Gitao.
He took us a bunch of us in. Tuambia hivi ndo unasoma Bible. So he taught, like he gave me a footing to understand, because unajua discipleship happeningi sana. Meokoka sajisot.
That's it.
In most cases. So that was really a great foundation for me to understand, okay, na need kupray, na need hizi ni vitu na need kulearn. So God provided that and I'm grateful.
Wow.
So na hii foundation heavy. Who any nani sahi church?
I am a worker. I do anything I am told to do. Yes. Okay. I'm a member at large. Yangu at this point.
And I don't play. But she's a very important person in a certain docket in our church. But we will get to that. So now tulifika kwa high school. Did you join CU? Were you active in?
I wasn't like, I used to go and be part of the church, but I wasn't like 100%
active.
Leaders, chairs.
Okay.
Yeah, but like prayers, like all those things, prayers, worship, nini. Tulikuwa tunakam across pia, wanajijua, Bushirians, tulikuwa tunaenda huko kufanya activities pia. So yes, did a lot of that in CU, but I wasn't like at the forefront.
Okay, so now in high school, I think it's majorly known that kuna kwanga na vitu ka funky. Sindo? And I think in my high school, at least nasema kanyaga bush. At least I can brag. Madem. I was there. What are those?
Oh, that's the only time tuliingia bush sisi.
Oh, mimi nilienda huko juu kulikuanga na leaders conference. Yeah, sir. Many schools in many different
leaders
schools.
Conference. Mimi kwa najua sports mtu.
Nilikuwa prefect. I was important. I was important in
high school. Sports ilikuwa important.
Watu wa enter.
I was in
Walikuwa
upper hill.
captains.
Na ukiwa upper hill una play sports zote.
Really?
Upende usipende.
Mandatory.
Si mandatory.
Everyone.
But sasa upper hill ni a school ya iko ina base sana kwa sports. Pia academics yes, but sports ndio ni stronghold yao. So ukiwa tu kwa you can't beat them una join tu. So ukisikia tu next week kuna funky ya basketball na iko tukaenda sana USIU. Hiyo wiki una train back. Ndio uende hiyo.
Uweke kwa list.
Ukisikia watu wanaenda Hillcrest my guy utajifunza badminton.
Just for the fun.
Ukisikia Bush Opens na Opens vitu kama hizo just for the fun.
Inedi kulikuwa na kitu inaitwa Bush Opens. I did 4 years. Same. Okay, 4 years. It's the one
Sasa ulikuwa unaenda leaders conference.
Mimi si games. Hata mkiniangalia, mnajua sikuangi active.
Umesema ulicheza kati.
Status yako inakuanga at the gym.
At the
and
gym
then-
with a
but
laugh
status-
emoji. Don't even get into it. I'm at the gym. At the gym. Silas anaweza nitetea. But so in high school I know ulikuwa umeokoka, so did you attend funkies? Did you have fun in high school? Because I mean you're in high school. Lama kazi yako ilikuwa tu maths contests, physics, science, whatever. Whatever. Nilitoka kama sienda science. That shows I'm not very innovative. So did you get to participate in such activities in high school?
Yeah, I was in Sunday school. I was teaching
school in
Sunday
high
school.
school?
Yes, tulikuanga na Sunday school. Like we used to go and teach Musa Gitao or other schools that were around on.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. Volunteers
Yes.
every Sunday.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah. But I think I read a lot. I was a bookworm. I regret. That's my one regret, that I didn't join too many sports. Yes. I was always in the classroom.
Why would you regret being a bookworm? I mean,
Because
will
I
it
should have had more
translate?
fun. I should have had more fun. I should have
My
joined.
biggest regret
Easy
is
vitu
joining all
zote.
sports.
Because
Then
you
we are
never had the
we are
time
the
for books.
opposite.
Wait.
Yeah, opposite.
You never had
Usiseme
time.
hivyo. Time ya books ilikuwa.
Mama
Ilikuwa
sioni.
limited.
I remember my mom actually
Well.
had a major issue because I joined drama. Juu alikuwa anasema sitaweza kumultitask. And then considering that drama was in, correct me if I'm wrong, ilikuwa term 2.
Ilikuwa second term.
Sindio? Term 2 is the longest. So you're spending a lot of time rehearsing and you're not in books. So she was very much against it. She was so much against it. But co-curricular activities for the win in high school. Attend them. Zote.
Yes,
Zote.
I agree. Anzia
Usiache
form 1 day 1.
funky. That's an advice I tell high schoolers even in church. I'm like, cheki, usijifungie. Form 1, inakwanga introduction, what is biology? I mean, ni utashika form 4. But go, enda funky. So it's interesting. So ulienda funkies, and then now you've concluded high school.
I did accounting, finance, and systems. Accounting, information systems.
How is that related to data, whatever right now?
So yeah, let me just say, I think nikitoka campo, the best advice I read was, don't make your career a linear path. Make it like a jungle gym. Kwenye utaenda finding your thing. Endo ukishikilia, you're like, okay. Because you don't have to, like, I think campus opens up the opportunities, but you don't have to lock yourself in and say, nilisoma hii, so lazima niende hii path. Because like the world is changing so much. So learn and see, okay, I like these skills. Is there a job that I can do that is related to these skills? Go and build from there. Okay. Then, tests, unaona, si like, sawa, si like hii. Let me see what else I can do. So there's always opportunities. So what I would say is, like, go to school, do whatever. If you love doing what you've learned, do it. But don't limit yourself and say, nimesoma accounting, I can only be an accountant. That is not true in this world.
Quite open-minded.
Yes, just go wherever, as a believer, where God leads you. At least that's been my story. Go where God leads you, and He is faithful to keep you and expand your borders. Because God, ukisema unataka kuwa accountant, it's fine. But yeah, God is faithful.
Have many options, but also trust God to lead you.
Okay.
Una swali?
Sina swali.
Larry.
Na learn tu.
Una learn. Okay, your aspect ya kukuwa open-minded and having this is something that is very dear to my heart because I'm a victim. I was a victim. Unapata mtu amemaliza high school and then anataka kufanya a certain course, for example nursing, but grades zake niza kufanya something like law or engineering. You find that parents tend to push you towards those courses. So mimi naweza taka tu uongeleshe hawa watu kuhusu hiyo tu career choices. ikifika your point yenye now you have this is what I want to do, but this is what my parents are telling me to do. So how do you go about that? Because I know there kuna high schoolers watch wakitoka shule tunajua. So advice to maybe parents on also how to lead their kids in not going towards the wrong career paths, and also advice to kids on when it comes to choosing a career for them. Should I look at my grades? Should I look at my skills and my talent? Should I look at my passion? Like, how do I go about that?
Yeah, I mean, to parents, I would say, I'm not a parent yet, but like, you're a steward. So, kukwa open-minded, especially, mtoya anataka unafaa kumguide, yes, but don't force them. But on the other side, comes as wako amekulazimisha, no option. You don't have an option. So, neza sema
kata shule. Hiyo ndio option.
Hapana, usikatae shule. Kama amekulazimisha unafaa kufanya course ya computer science, go do it well. Then
do it and do it well.
Do it well. Yes, do it well. Patia mtoto mzazi wako certificate respectfully, and then now you'll have the option, right? Like now you can get some money at that point and do a course you like.
Brother wako anafanya computer science.
Yes.
Ni story yake unatupea.
No, I'm just saying like
Clive,
no for him.
Clive.
Clive, did they force you?
You can comment, Clive. But Clive's story is also interesting. I think God chose him different story. But yeah, yes. So let us guide, because kuna opportunities mob sana kwa dunia. And I think let's not usijilimi tuseme tu ndafanya job Kenya. Right? There's a friend who told me like the world is your oyster. You can work from anywhere. You can learn any language. Like especially now, nikicompare time nilikuwa namaliza form 4 na sahi. You have YouTube, you have free courses, you to do what.
So many free
Unajua vitu mob sana. So usijilimit uone tu usiseme Ka West ndio life yangu, Nairobi ndio life yangu. No, there's so much out there to be done. So don't limit yourself. Try. Ka kuna scholarships or things to apply to, try. Haujui.
Okay.
Right? Yeah. Go in faith, go in trust in God. So if God opens the door that your parent amekulazimisha usome nursing, and usome nursing. Haujui kama uko mbele utakuwa CEO wa hospitali. Right? You'll still have the skills, but utakuwa umegrow. Like you have more knowledge in that. So for me, I think that the path that God calls us to is never wasted. Hata ndio naambianga wase hata ukiserve church. Like for me, some of the lessons I've learned in my workplace are from church. How to organize, how to be great with people. All those things are from church. There's nothing that's ever wasted as long as you give it to God. So usi waste life yako. Don't ever feel like it's a waste of our lives. Because remember Moses anasema kwa Psalm, teach us to number our days that we may apply our hearts to wisdom. So every opportunity God amekupatia, because he's sovereign, akunanga mistake. Like with God, there's never a mistake. Yeah. There's a reason in his sovereign plan. So ukienda in bitterness, utakome lose, because you'll have wasted 2 years ukisema, mzazi wangu amenilazimisha, right? But just go do it well. Yeah. And then there's masters, this PhD. You can do another degree. You can do whatever you want to do. Kani kuimba. Unaimba na we ni nurse. Mse akifaint hapa for example.
I faint on stage.
Yes. God forbid, but like there's opportunities. So I think either way, whether umelazimishwa ama hujalazimishwa, deal with make lemonade with your lemons.
Yeah. Yes. I think that's knowledge I didn't have. Yeah. As someone who did economics for 2 years and then dropped it, I was like, Dio says, I'm done. I think I still beat myself about it, because now nanganika niliwestizo miaka mbili KU. I was like, ningekuwa nishamaliza degree ya communications, but well, God has no mistake, as you've said, because I can also for sure say that KU, as much as sick attend a lot of classes, I learned something from KU, and that's, well, tabia God, maombi ujibiwa. Jumi nasema moving schools was an answered prayer, because I never saw myself graduating with a degree in economics. Honestly, I never did. So for it to be answered that soon, it's an answered prayer.
Praise God.
Yeah. So now we get into campus. You've joined USIU. Now you've done economics and all of that. You've graduated. How long was your course? Inasonika course ya udaktari 7 years. Umesema marketing?
No, accounting, finance, and information systems.
Oh, information systems.
Yes.
Okay.
It's a 4, and I say 4 in quotes because I spent 3.5 years. Like the beauty with USIU, ulikuwa unaweza fanya courses but you can add. like unaweza ongeza ufanye 6 but you had to like be a specific grade.
6
Oh
courses.
yeah, units.
Units. Yeah, sorry. Okay, so ilikuwa naita courses but like yeah, so you can unaweza ongezea useme nataka graduate by this time, so wacha niongezee. So yes.
So unaweza pata wenye mlianza nao mtamaliza nao juu wana take time. You wanted to do things.
Yeah, because why not?
Why waste time?
Why not?
Why waste time?
Maybe
Why are we spending all this time here?
IQ. Juu.
Yeah, because you have to have like awezi kuwa na GPA flani.
Yeah.
Because you're clearly struggling wezi jiongezea. Sio ni kuchipea stress.
I remember in KU it was the same. I think we also had that option, but sasa wewe lazima mnge graduate tu at the same time.
Oh,
yeah.
For me as well. Yeah. You graduate, like graduation at that point was just August.
Oh.
So hata ukimaliza mapema you have to wait.
You'll
for that
still
graduation.
wait.
So that's why I was saying like 4 years but 3.5 because I spent less time. Yeah,
with KU it was unafanya unit 7 and then you can add an 8th unit only if you have a certain GPA. Yes.
Yeah.
So it's for smart people, so be smart ukikuwa in uni. So how was it studying in USIU?
Kutoka Kahawa West.
You are from Kahawa West. It's
Ungaro wapi Seti? Uko
yes,
46
Seti.
ama 56.
Seta 40. Okay. Seti satellite.
But uko tu alafu West pia.
We are not
USIU.
alafu USIU kwa mababi. You know that's how it's known. Hata mimi najua USIU ni kwa mababi. So how was it? Was it difficult trying to fit in, or did you find kulikuwa na hiyo pressure? Yeah, I'm from this place and then there's USIU image certain class of maybe sijui kama naweza ita class but a certain group of other people that you've probably not interacted with in high school or even at home in the 3 years that you've been outside. So kulikuwa na hiyo pressure trying to fit in while joining.
For me, I thank God that's never been an issue for me because somehow by God's grace I know myself. I'm like nimekuja kusoma tusome, so
that's
all
my
other
only business.
things, yeah, all other things are don't really
by
matter
God's
to
grace.
me.
By God's grace.
Yeah, because I know it's a challenge for many people. So I don't downplay it at all. But for me, it's never been an issue. Ati mse ametoka wapi? Si tuko class. Si tunasoma. Si tunapata grades.
We're sitting on the same seats.
Si tunafanya exams. Si wote. Si tuko the same lecturers. So let's take the opportunity. Pia mimi niko nayo. So wacha nisikume kitu. And then the beauty also, like in terms of fees, I thank God for USIU. I was working and like they have a work study program. So I was working. So nilikuwa nafika shule mapema. Because nilikuwa nafanya job, alafu nenda class. Like, because you have a number of hours that you need to do, then they pay for you. I don't even remember how many units, but I think like 2. So you ingine mzazi ndo analipia.
Really, that is so nice.
Yeah, it was really nice.
That is really
nice. Yeah, I'm grateful. I think from the second year to like the 4th, 3rd, 3.5 years, I did that program. So it was really nice. So yeah, I was busy likwanga shule.
Na ni job ka gani? Now what was the ulikuwa nafanya job gani? You're working inside USIU?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
So interesting, it was in the alumni office, but I was working with the person who does data. So it was like a journey God had already started.
Oh, wow.
Yes. Yeah, so data analysis, Miss Beatrice, she's the late now. She was great. She was amazing. She was really nice. Took me under her wing. Taught me a lot. Alikuwa ananipea advice. Uvyu pia alikuwa anatukalisha wale wasawajua kina light. Kwa tunakalishwa hapo for 3 hours. You girls need. Alikuwa anatupea lectures. So I am grateful that everywhere God has been, faithful to give me people who are like sort of take me as their child or their sister. That has been my story. And I hope I've been the same with other people as well. That nina bless wase, na advice, na, guidance, etc. Because that's people have really poured into my life. So, 3.5 years nilikuwa CU technically. Sitaongea matope, but nilikuwa CU, but not really intensely because I was also now a leader at that point in Kahawa West Baptist. Na pia nilikuwa dance, tulikuwa ditwa. Stood be dancers, tulikuwa naenda competition. So, ilikuwa namaliza nasoma, na nenda job, namaliza job, naingia class, nikimaliza class, narudi church. Yeah, because we had competitions. There times we had to, sleep. Tukifanya kesha, tukienda compete. So, yeah, that was a
so you done some deadly.
I will say Doreen is better. And the reason I say she's better, this is my sister again, because akona trophy kwa nyumba. Wazazi wanajua huyo ndio dancer. Nyi wengine mlikuwa mnafanya nini?
Trophy ya kudance.
Yes, alishinda baka awards, best dancer. So,
Allah. She's that good.
I'll show you videos. Kuna videos mingi. Nini mtafute Detour. Detour.
Oh, that page still exists. I remember Detour growing up nikijua Detour. Juu ulikuwa ile time walikuwa na participate at Sakata. Ulikuwa?
Sakata was by that time I think ilikuwa nimeanza job so singeweza kwa Detour. I couldn't do both things. So I had left.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, interesting. So dance.
Yeah.
Tutauliza Doreen your story. Doreen anaimba.
Yeah,
singer, dancer, like what multi-talented. Aya, so now USIU umesema ulikuwa siu but not.
Yes, you too.
Ilikuwa tu.
Ilikuwa nenda maombi.
Okay. So now at this point umesema ulikuwa leadership at KWBC. Ulikuwa na cheo gani at that time kama unaweza kumbuka?
BS leader.
Ulikuwa Bible study leader, so you're passionate about Bible study. Okay, so how did you get to becoming a leader at church?
Inakunga hizo elections zetu.
Were you active at KWBC at that time ndio uchaguliwe?
Miano alikuwa ananiacha, alikuwa kusulingia na Brenda. There's another lady called Brenda. Alikuwa anashinda tu akitucall mko mnafanya ujini. So tulikuwa wengi wenye tulikuwa tumemaliza shule or just joining campus. So we had a lot of time, a whole cohort, kina Karo, kina Njihia. Yeah, it was a whole cohort.
Hamkuwa na phonic your time?
I think ulikuwa na some sort of phonic.
Nishaisikia kulikuwa na ingine tunaitwa I can't remember the name.
But ikuwa phonic as it is now. Ikuwa intense kasisi. No, me sikujoin because I didn't grow up in church, remember?
Okay.
So nilikuja just after.
Okay. So are you still in touch with maybe friends from primary, high school, USIU?
Yes.
You do?
Yes.
Si venye anawataja akisema who and who will watch, yeah.
Nimesikia akisema light. So when it comes to friendships, I don't know if you have a question.
I wanted to because you've mentioned phonic. Nataka kusema phonic ni a program in our church, in KWBC church, for the people who've just completed
Form
4, and it runs in a running from
Jan to
April thereabout. Yeah.
Mnaweza waleta. It's an interesting program. I have gone through it.
Same, I've also gone through it.
Tulikuwa the same year. So it's interesting. It's really interesting. And I think hapo ndo nilianza kuelewa. Set free helped. Really helped. Juu nakumbuka when I come home from high school, most times preachers walikuwa wanakuja ni prosperity preachers, you know? You will get an A, you will get a B, you will pass, claim it in Jesus' name, you know, like. But now when you come from ukona hiyo knowledge, but ukona kina Kenos wenye wanawafeed scripture venye inasema, and not to rely on other people's false prophets and all of that. Naweza sema set free ilisaidia, and also now phonic now, juu naweza sema sasa phonic ndio after Form 4 is when now I understood and I got to understand salvation. So phonic ilisaidia. So I think kujua ilianza back then, in as much as it was not as intense. That's a beautiful thing. So now I have a question on friendships, navigating friendships, especially now as a saved person. I know you interacted with a lot of unbelievers in campus, in high school, at work. I know you still do it. Did you maybe face criticism because of your faith amongst friends? Maybe dunda wanaenda wako Debs twende, like mimi naenda kesha. You just tell them something because that's not what you know, right? That's not how you want your life to turn out. So how were you navigating friends, especially in campus and now in the workspace with friends who are unbelievers?
Campus, we had a girl group, but all of them were saved.
Ooh.
Yes, so tulikuwa tunaenda kesha si wote. Tunaenda church gani tunaenda. So for me, it was never an issue. No, it was never an issue. I do not remember being criticized for my faith because my close friends si wote tunaongea juu ya scripture umela nini. Tukienda exams tuna pray. Kuna beshti yangu okay, when you go to USIU, the library, kuna kwanga na, I don't know what, are we calling them cubicles? So basically it's just a room you go in and then like tables and seats. So we used to book, tulikuwa na room yetu. So kuna beshti yetu mmoja, Luisa. Alikuwa na anoint your room.
Really?
Na mafuta. Yes. Kila mtu alikuwa anajua ni room yetu. So Yes. So my friends were saved. Are saved, at least. And I say close friends. At least in Campo.
Yes. That is still your circle till date?
Mostly, yes. Yes. I still have friendships from there. And then from Kawes as well now. I think I'm my closest friends. Closest girlfriends, yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So now I think now due to tumemaliza campus, we can skip now into the workspace. Unaweza kumbuka your first ever job, apart from working in USIU, your first ever job after graduating, ama internship. I think internship or something. Inakwanga internship immediately after. Internship, and then now you fully get into the workspace. So can you remember where you first got your employment? Yes. You never forget that. You can't mention. You don't have to mention names, do you?
Let me just say the company that the president owns, insurance company. That's where I worked first. So going back to that period, it was 3.5 years, and I remember my dad was like, "Unaenda kufanya sales kwa insurance company." Aliambia mimi sioni last 30 days.
Really?
Yes.
Why?
Because I'm not a person for selling.
Oh, okay.
Because selling needs convincing. My dad was like, sawa, nitakungojea tu hapa. So now
30 days.
And at 15 days I was like, aki dad alisema ukweli.
You are so done.
But I was like, I'm staying to prove him wrong. Back at day 31. So that was really difficult. So yeah, I did a month. I was just like, I can't do this.
You said this is after
that 3 years.
Oh, the 3 years. Okay.
Yes, that was the only gig I had. And then after Campo, I worked for a bank. So I worked there for a bit of time. I was just telling someone today that nakumbuka one. First of all, they also took me under their wing. I was the youngest. So what walikuwa wananipea advice, unafaa kuinvest hivi, unafaa kufanya hivi. Everyone was in my business, and it wasn't in a bad way. It was in a good way, because like those guys nikiongelesha watu wamefanya job for 18 years, 30 years. I remember when someone told me they'd worked there for 30 years, I was like, this is not the life I want. Like, this is not what I want to do in my life for 30 years. And so I was very intentional on taking skills and then wanting to pivot and leave the bank, because it was like, I don't know about it now, but like when I was working at that point, it was a very unaweza fanya hiyo job for like hakuna kitu ita change, no innovation, no creativity, nothing. Like, and those are important to me in terms of like, looking at problems, seeing how to solve solutions, seeing how to learn, because I'm always challenging myself. Nasema okay, so ni nini imetokea in my field that I need to learn. Naenda online najifunza. So at that point, honestly, ilikuwa tu data entry. Utajifundisha nini? It's data entry, guys. There's nothing else you can do. So yeah, I was there for a bit, and I remember a life-changing one was we were a group of women there, and I remember walikuwa wamekaa hapo. The ladies were older than me, and they said, "Hey, we've stayed here for such a long time. We need to do something different." And so we prayed and fasted, I think, for 3 days. After that, the first one akapatiwa job ingine, second one mimi niko tu hapo nimekaa for like 1.5 years kusema saya God ulisahau.
I'm waiting. Hi.
Yeah. Remember. But anyway, after about 4-ish years, I left. Then I joined. What do they do? Basically, let me say a startup. So my journey in working in startups started there, and I've enjoyed working for startups. Right now, I don't, but I enjoyed working for startups because unaingianga ni zile job unaingianga unaambiwa. Because on the contract, for all contracts, and do anything else. Sikumbuki your phrasing ni nini. Umeambiwa utafanya hivi na hivi na hivi, but any other assigned task utafanya. So for startups, I have ended up doing so much. Nililearn kucode kwa startup, nilikuwa na run HR, nilikuwa msiwa. Like, because basically startups they grow very quickly, and so people leave very quickly as well. So kazi inaenda ikichange. So yeah, ilibidi nimelearn. So yeah, nilitoka bank, then startups for a period of time, which I enjoyed, and then now.
Are you still in startups? Kinu umesema, you've mentioned about that you used to enjoy, but now you don't.
So no, it's because of the structure of the company I work for. It's not a startup. It's been around for like 94 years. So startups unaenda ku build structures. Like startup basically
is starting up.
Tuseme kai podcast in a startup, sindio? Okay. So ni tunaenda tukilearn, okay, tuna need kweka hii, these are the systems. Tresian ulifanya HR hapana enda ulan haya sasa wewe ndio HR
Okay.
ulisoma nini okay you're the trainer sawa ujui kutrain enda ulan kutrain so like that's the beauty with startups.
Okay.
But I also do enjoy my job right now because I'm the innovation and creativity as well I can bring to the table. Thanks, Nick. Yeah, that's my boss.
We've come to the end of Beyond the Pulpit Kenya part 1 with Dems, but there's going to be a part 2. Do not forget to follow us on our social media platforms. On Instagram, we're at Beyond the Pulpit _Kenya. TikTok, BTP Kenya. YouTube, do not forget to subscribe, like, share, and comment at BTP Kenya. Our phone number is, all of them are going to be edited somewhere down here. Also on Facebook, tuko huko at Beyond the Pulpit Kenya. Usisahau. So watch out for part 2 which will be airing soon.
Nimekumbuka Spotify pia.
We are on all streaming platforms. Pale unatuanga ile your old favorite podcast because now this is your new favorite podcast. Unaona huko Spotify, Google Podcasts, all of them tuko. So do not forget to listen to us over there.